Hey everybody, how you doing? Happy Thursday. It's October 10th, and wait a few more minutes before we kick this off. But I'm wearing something that might be really cool. It's the Post Pilot Rolling Stones influenced tongue shirt. So I don't know if you can fully appreciate it live, but worth checking out. All right, why don't we kick this off? My name is Drew Sanocki. Today I'm going to talk about the top 5 Black Friday, Cyber Monday tips for direct mail. Basically, we're talking to the team on Monday and just saying like, hey, at this point of the year, it's October 10th. You got about a month and a half until crunch time. Like, what realistically can a customer do? What realistically could a brand do to get another 10 or 20% off of direct mail by the holidays? So we came up with this list. They're all designed to be easy to implement. The value prop is that we are going to give you tips and tricks that you can implement by the weekend over the next day or two. And they're going to drive you 10 to 20% more revenue over the holiday. So let's dive in. Before we begin, a question for everybody. Are you truly maximizing the opportunity this November? It's such a great time to be a marketer because you've got higher traffic and higher conversions than you usually have. Everybody's looking at you, looking for you to make them an offer, right? But you want to make sure you maximize it because when that week or two are gone, they're gone until next year. I'm arguing that brands that don't use direct mail are leaving money on the table, right? You're going to make more money if you use direct mail than if you don't. I would say for 9 brands out of 10. So what are the easy ways to do it? I find that most brands don't use direct mail because they think it's too hard. So we're going to try to make it easy. Before I get into that, who am I? My name is Drew Sanocki. I'm the co-founder, co-CEO of PostPilot, the #1 direct mail app for e-commerce. It's our website. And, before running a direct mail company, I've run brands. So I've been running brands for about 20 years. I've had about 20 plus Black Fridays on which to cut my teeth. And one of my big learnings is that you want to layer the digital and the physical on top of each other for Black Friday. So why do you want to do that? Why do you want to send postcards or catalogs on top of what you're already doing? Well, the first reason is that brands that use direct mail attract a much better customer. So this 2 cases this year, Nike and then J. Crew, in both cases cut their direct mail spend. J. Crew went bankrupt. Nike, certainly took a hit because of it. And, on the surface, it looked like a good move because you're cutting a costly program. It costs money to send out a catalog or postcard. But it's not until months afterwards that you realize the true impact of cutting that program. When the data suggests that most of your highest lifetime value customers, the customers that come in and spend the most with your brand, are acquired or are touched by direct mail. So it's a little bit of shooting yourself in the foot if you cut that direct mail program, right? So that's one reason why you want to layer it on top. This holiday season, you want to get those really, really high lifetime value customers into the fold. The second reason, costs, right? Costs go up in Q4. I ran an automotive brand, and over Cyber Week, we had Amazon, Walmart, and AutoZone all sort of bidding up our ads. Our costs went through the roof. It became unprofitable to acquire new customers. This year in 2024, you've got an election, right? So that's also driving up digital ad costs. The costs to send direct mail are capped, right? They're set by the Postal Service. So it's going to cost the same amount to send a postcard, this month as it will next month. It's just CFOs love this. You get this channel cranking at a certain ROI, and it's going to stay at that ROI through the holiday. And then the last reason, it's, you're leveraging your own customer data. Most brands are trying to acquire new customers through the holidays. I think that's a bad idea. I think the time to acquire new customers is now in October and really last month in September. And then over the holidays is when you want to lean in on your 3 owned audiences email, SMS, and direct mail because they represent cheap customer acquisition and reacquisition. So that's kind of why you'd want to use direct mail over the holiday. And the first tip I call the direct mail flip. So we all agree the best audience out there, the best possible audience we could target is our previous customers, right? They're always going to be more receptive to us. They know the brand already. The problem is, if you look back 3-4 years in your customer file, you've got customers that can't hear from you anymore, right? They've unsubscribed from your email list or they never subscribed. They're not opening emails. They've moved on, right? If you go into your email software, I encourage you to carve out 2 segments, much like this in Klaviyo. Carve out a segment of all your previous buyers that have opened an email in the last 60, 90 days. And then carve out a second segment of all your previous buyers. And it's going to be eye-opening like this case. Like 10% of this very rich audience is typically the one that's engaged in opening your emails, which means the other 90%, they're not hearing from you. And these are not just anybody, these are your previous buyers. The only way you can contact this whole pie is through direct mail, right? Because you don't need an opt-in to send someone a piece of direct mail. So a DM flip is where you just take your core email offer, the one you've been ruminating over, the one you've been devising, the one you've been planning for up until now, and just flip it into direct mail. It's a deal on Hexclad did this last year. It's a deal on a pot or a pan. They basically opened up a Slack with the team at Postpilot and said, hey, here's the email. Can you flip this into a direct mail campaign? And we want to target all my previous buyers who are not opening email, right? We get that because we integrate with Klaviyo, SendLane, and ESPs. We can tell you this segment here is a previous buyer segment that is not opening your emails. It's a great audience to send your core offer to via direct mail, right? When you do something like this, it's surprising how far back in history you can go. 4 or 5 years, customers who last bought from you 4 or 5 years ago, still receptive to direct mail offers, right? And in many ways, it represents new customer acquisition because the customers aren't coming back anyway. So execute a DM flip. Takes all of 5 minutes to task our team to do this. You could literally do it tomorrow, okay? Tip number 2, build a direct mail audience. What do I mean by that? Well, we all know it's obvious traffic skyrockets over the next month, right? Culminating in that week after Thanksgiving. We've just got more traffic to our site than we'll ever have before, and that we will have for a full year. You want to capture that, right? Like, what's the average conversion rate in e-commerce? It's below 1%. Well, what about the other 99%? That's where retargeting comes into play. Visitor, cold traffic hits your site. You can build a retargeting pool, remarketing pool. And then when that visitor moves on, you can market to him or her on another site, right? That's the whole idea behind retargeting. Problem with retargeting is that more and more networks are shutting down to retargeting. I mean, iOS 14 being the most recent one makes it harder to retarget digitally, but you can retarget with direct mail. So works really well for high AOV products. Cold traffic visits your site. Obviously, if they convert, great. If they don't convert, you can add them into a retargeting pool. We call it site match. You're building an audience that you can mine in the future, right? You don't have to do it now. That's why it's just like a good thing to do. It's a preventative, right? It's tapping this surge in traffic you're going to get over the next month, which you can then market to in January or next year. Now, this is kind of what it looks like. You can put filters on there to make sure you're qualified. So maybe you want to only target visitors, high intent visitors that have visited 5 pages and embed on your site, 3 minutes or something like that, or only visited certain product pages. That's how Site Match works. You set that logic. And then what you're doing over the next month, really, you should get this pixel in place today. It's free because you're going to add people into your retargeting audience. And then, when sales are slow in January, you can then market to them. You can send a postcard. You can mine that audience and get them to convert. So we call it Site Match. It's a pixel. You install it through Google Tag Manager or whatever your tag management system is. It's free to add. You can go to postpilot.com/GFO now, get the pixel, and start collecting your audience, right? You can decide later on whether you want to monetize that audience. But it's just this is like your vitamin, right? You're just saving something for the future and taking advantage of that traffic spike that you're going to get over the next month. The third tip you can execute by this weekend: get into a gift guide. So Amazon kind of surprised everybody last holiday because when we got these, right? Amazon launched a gift guide. Not any gift guide, but a direct mail gift guide. It was a catalog, right, with featured toys. And, I don't know if you had to pay to get into this thing or if the merchandisers there decided who goes into it. It worked really well, got a lot of buzz. We have the same thing available to DTC now at Postpilot. We call it our shared mailer, shared gift guides. It's essentially this or 100 versions of this. So we might have all heard of shared mailers, those Valpak kind of packs. The problem with those, I think, is that there's low brand adjacency and the targeting is not all that great. So we developed essentially a gift guide, a gift catalog. We choose 8 to 10 complementary, non-competitive brands. We go in here with a little bit of editorial. As you can see here, this one's about, morning wellness. I think this one was about weekend zen. We've got them for golfers. We've got them for CrossFitters. We got them for diabetics, modern male, modern women. There's pet owners, right? We've got gift guides oriented to all these hyper-targeted groups. Each one has editorial, QR code, an online dash, and we do a little bit of advanced targeting. We can do lookalikes joint off all the brands here. They work really well. I want to say the average ROAS on new customer acquisition is over 3. So I would encourage you to explore a gift guide. It's also a cheap way to get into direct mail. So, you're talking about paying a few $1,000s for 50,000 households. I think it goes up to maybe $5,000, $10,000. You can get up to 100, 200,000 households. Gift guides are just a great way to reduce the cost of a mailing to get into home, ultimately reduce your new customer acquisition cost. So how do you do it? You go to a URL that I will share here. You email me at Drew@Postpilot. I'll send it out to you. But just express your interest and boom, we'll get you into a gift guide. Moving back over here. All right, tip number 4. Jam your fence sitters. So what do I mean by that? Every brand has fence sitters. So these are subscribers typically on your email list. They've been there for a year, or more, and they've never purchased. Like they've gotten your welcome sequence. They've gotten every offer. Maybe they were there last Black Friday. They got your offer then. Nothing caused them to get off the fence. You can target them with direct mail and it works surprisingly well. And you say, well, if they're on my email list, how do I have their address? We use some technology called Mail Match. It's very similar to our Site Match technology, but you create a segment in Klaviyo, in SendLane, whatever you use, of people who have never ordered but are still subscribed. We can correlate 30, 40% of that to a physical address and then drop your campaign, right? We can do it automated, or we can just drop your Black Friday campaign. And amazingly, people convert off direct mail when they didn't convert off email, right? It happens. It happens enough that it's worth running these campaigns. So how do you do it? You integrate Postpilot with Klaviyo, with SendLane, create a segment, automate an offer. Again, the easiest way to do it is just email our team and have them set it up for you, which they're happy to do. 5th and final tip that you can do this weekend: prospecting. Like everybody wants new customers, new customer acquisition. I would encourage you to try direct mail prospecting. because of this. It's like over the next month, digital signals are going to be through the roof. You're going to open your email inbox, especially around Black Friday, Cyber Week. You're going to have thousands of offers in there. It's really hard to stand out. I mean, imagine scrolling through a Facebook feed or an Instagram feed. How do you get your offer in front of someone? You go into the post office, you go to the mailbox, right? Even that week, you only get maybe 10 max pieces of mail. Very easy to stand out. There's some arbitrage there. So what we've done is just think of Meta for mail, right? We've built the biggest database in the world of households in the US with as much data as we can and attributes on top of that, which allow you to do the same kind of targeting you do on Meta. You could target by affinity group, household income, behavior, whether they've purchased from XYZ before. You do some really advanced targeting. So many customers found this overwhelming that we put AI on top of it. So the AI now learns, just like Facebook's algorithm. You plug in your store, it's going to learn over time and optimize around a ROI that you desire, right? We couldn't make it easier to acquire new customers through direct mail. And then you want to just think of, the medium for the message. We recommend 3 mediums here: a postcard, like a 6x9, a catalog, which is a big trifold, and the full catalog. But really at this point in mid-October, I'd be looking at that 6x9 postcard. Put as many products as you can on this, because for new customer acquisition, you want to show a selection. You often want to show as much as you can. And then try prospecting, right? So keep it simple. Most SKUs, more better. And there's a great case study on our site of a 9-figure women's apparel brand that just used acquisition AI, got an insane 6x ROAS on cold prospect acquisition, which I'd love to guarantee for everybody. It doesn't always happen, but works really well in apparel, furniture. We'll tell you. We'll take a look at your data and we'll tell you if we think it's going to work. So definitely worth a shot. Again, all 5 of these tips can be done by this weekend. To reiterate, execute the DM flip. That's reacquiring old customers that you can't contact any other way. Building a retargeting audience using Site Match. This is the best way to leverage this traffic spike that you're going to experience over the next month and really bank an audience for use at a future time. Get into a gift guide. It's one of the cheapest way to do direct mail acquisition, right? We've got them in almost every category imaginable. So get into one of our gift guides, jam your fence sitters, get those subscribers who have never purchased off your email list into your transactional table, right? Get them off the fence. And number 5, try prospecting with acquisition AI. I'd lean into a 6x9 card with your core offer and a couple products on there. It's just a great way to try to acquire new customers in a way that's not that competitive over the next month. If you need help, and we'll do it all for you, go to postpilot.com/GFO. That stands for Go Fast Offer. It's basically, we help you set up all those things I talked about today. And we waive some of the initial setup fees and we get you going. It's for this month only. So if you're hearing this webinar, go to postpilot.com/GFO and we'll do it for you. There couldn't be anything faster by Saturday. So if you want another 10 to 20% on the top and bottom line over the holidays with a very little amount of work, these are the 5 ways we've come up with to do it. We've tried to make it simplify even simpler with a core offer at postpilot.com/GFO. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. My name's Drew Sanocki. My email is drew@postpilot.com. And good luck. Stay safe out there. Thanks.